and welcome back to the Oceanic Assault Tournament in Australian time zone, yay Asia Pacific. With me here is Slim Matt, and we are the commentators of the tournament finals today here. Pleasure to be with you. Saying silly things quite often, so never mind us, but
we certainly
at least
picked
we
that
have one of
previous.
us who actually knows how to fly ships nowadays.
We certainly picked that previous match a little bit incorrectly.
Yes, and
Such a turn of events.
and I completely missed that it was actually a PL guy there, one of my alliance mates fighting in a caracol that was whole tank. But never mind that, we have an exciting match here with two Vexers pitched against each other. What do you see on the ranges as the match starts to get underway?
Well, LL Anam was reasonably organised early and on grid, much earlier than Joshua. Joshua has come in at about 20 k's off the beacon though, whereas LL was right at zero, at about 20 kilometre distance between them. But that's been immediately closed by LL in his Vexer, and he'll be looking to stay within scram and web range, I imagine. Joshua could just be a similar setup, although we are seeing some armor damage on Joshua, but back to full shields already, so it could be another one of those ASB Vexes setups.
That's right.
He
He's
could be
pulled back
lacking.
his-
He could be lacking the E-War to keep LL there. If he needs to get away, LL may be able to pull range at some point and kite off drones, or pick them off with his own drones.
Yes, so far LL certainly seeing to be the one on the top of this match, which is quite surprising to see from a Test Alliance guy. But you know, there you go. There haven't been always the most successful in these tournaments, but LL is certainly breaking Joshua down like no tomorrow. Joshua now entering once again to half shields or so, starting to bleed into armor. 25% of his armor gone. LL is looking good. There's some neutralized effects going on here. Both parties have drones. What can you tell about the drones that are on the field here?
The drones we seem to be seeing from both competitors are just sets of hammerheads, which are high damage drones, medium of course. It's going to be about the best that they can do, given that they do the most damage without really trying to guess the resist profile of your opponent.
And suddenly LL is starting to take damage. Could it be that Joshua was shooting drones from LL for the beginning of the match? LL is now down out of shield into armor. Of course, he's more traditional armor tank setup, I would guess, since he is not getting whacked right out of the match there. Joshua is still taking heavy damage, but able to now tank it quite comfortably. Every now and then we see a burst of damage arriving on Joshua, but not enough to send him packing. LL, on the other hand, is steadily losing armor.
We can see a set of heavy drones on the field now, so two Ogres and a Berserker out from one of the competitors, looking to apply a little bit more damage perhaps.
That Berserker probably dealing right into that explosive resistance hold of LL, and he is starting to struggle a little bit here. But having said that, Joshua is now out of shield into armor. Being shield tank, this is not a position for him to be in. A lucky strike or two from that volley of drones, and Joshua will quickly have his armor disappear. On the other hand, LL is looking pretty. He's hanging in there. Not quite what his alliance did, but you know what he certainly is able to do. He's pulling back some of his armor, still above 50% or so, with Joshua still hanging on there with about 10% shields left.
It seems that the E-War is going to be what makes the difference in this fight. Joshua is unable to pull any range given the webs and the neuting effects coming from LL. I think that's what's going to keep him in place and within range for the entire fight, to be forced to tank all of the damage and never be able to pull range or really kite the drones. It seems like a little bit of a mistake early on from him. Maybe he wasn't quite ready to begin the duel. LL did close the distance almost immediately, very, very quickly before Joshua even made a move. So
yes, certainly LL here has displayed some exceptional piloting so far. He's doing all of the right moves. He's putting pressure into Joshua. Joshua will, being shield tanks in Vexor, have a lot more pressure applied to him, and with pressure comes a chance to make a mistake, which he has already done twice on his shield reload cycles. Once again, we see Joshua just barely hanging on there, just scraping by, losing armor at a slow pace, but still managing to keep on. Now, I haven't seen a boost from LL, though he must have an active armor repper. He wouldn't be able to hang on in a 1v1 tournament this long, surely in a passive tank.
No, I think we can't really tell what the drones are doing here. They do look to be, the effects do appear to be landing on the Vexors themselves. I wonder if there's been a bit of drone warfare and some of the drones have been picked on. I'm seeing, what are we seeing here? Infiltrators, hobgoblins, and an infiltrator. So definitely one of them is down on some damage. Praetor catching up. Maybe they're down a little bit on the damage that they could be doing because they've lost drones. It'd be an interesting result to see them both run out of drones and then sit there and try to,
that wouldn't be very interesting. From a viewer position point of
well,
view.
we were talking about this in one of the breaks between one of the other fights. If we end up with boring results like that, I'm just going to turn on the micro warp drive for the center of the arena. The center of the arena in this match is the Hyperion that I'm commanding, and at some point, if people don't decide to do interesting things, we might just make the boundaries a little bit more dynamic.
Yes, having said that, LL Anom now is reaching the end of his armor. He, unlike the BL hero in the previous match, will not be whole tanked, and once that last sliver of armor disappears, Joshua has once again managed to swing this match around, and LL Anom is now looking very desperate indeed. Having said that, both Joshua also now slipping into low shields, which, keeping in mind that he has absolutely no armor buffer left whatsoever, leaves him in a precarious position as well. I don't know which way this match is going to go, but I do know that it's going to end in the next 2 minutes or so, with LL Anom now starting to take hull damage already, 5% of his hull gone. He's barely trying to keep it on there with these active reppers to try to rep enough of that precious armor buffer in there to keep his hull intact, but it's not working. He is now down 10% or so, with Joshua having regained full shields. Is perhaps LL Anom shooting the drones again? I believe we are. We just saw a drop pop there, or being pulled. LL Anom now at full at half hull, and rapidly losing that. He is now at 10% hull. We will see LL Anom disappear, and there he goes. Match turned around by Joshua, piloted perfectly in the beginning by LL Anom, but for whatever reason was not able to keep on that pressure enough to take victory. Joshua Mistweaver proceeding to the next match, and we will go on a little break into the toilets, and we will try not to bring our microphone with us.